Randy?
Yes.
Start.
So far, so good. Balance is 219,630.
That's last week's payroll, correct?
Payroll next week. Anything else big coming out, that you know? This, we don't have any bills, I don't know if this is all of them, or we're just saying, is Miss Howe doing it this week?
You know, I don't think she's paying a whole lot until Anita gets back.
Okay,
so.
'cause there were some few in here.
It's not the grand scheme of things.
Do you wanna?
What's 2 weeks, we're already months behind.
Do you wanna send me to the board about, what you talked to, what's the name, the insurance, like the insurance, but
Oh, about, talking to Randy Rushing,
Yes.
I did talk to Randy Rushing. I called about a personal matter, and he said that he had read in the paper about that company coming in and doing the payroll. And he said, thank you, yes, you guys don't have to pay that much money to get that done. He said that he would either come in and train on how to do it, or he could do it for like $500 or something.
remember the lady came in and discussed, you know, the
Oh,
Obama,
yeah.
Obama healthcare and stuff. He was just suggesting to her, if we did get serious about it, that he offers that same service at a discounted package.
Yeah, well, she sounds very proud of her work.
Yeah. That was the last one.
Everything else going all right?
I left a message for Keith, and I haven't heard back from him on that checking accounts.
Okay. Remember we talked about that, but the city manager was gonna talk to them also.
Like I said, Linda Gurley said, you know, she told him if it wasn't right, you know, to call her back,
Right.
and she said that she hadn't heard from me, so.
I'll call Keith today and see, seen his vehicle this morning parked across the street. All right. Anything, Gurley?
I'm good.
All right.
Thank you, Buck.
You're welcome.
You know, I think, is there one in Reedsville?
Thanks, Joe.
I think they do have gates in Reedsville now.
And not a big buddy.
What's going on there? Sign some stuff, or what do you got?
Well, what I have here, wait for you to get back, it's gotta have your signature.
Okay, good deal.
This has been in the works for a year. The railroad guy with the railroad section in Springfield says, "You got a couple of county highway crossings, don't you, that don't have gates?" And I said, "Yeah." He says, "We have some federal safety, railroad safety money, I think is the way it's listed." He said, "Why don't you put in for a couple of those?" I said, "There's a good chance you'll get them." And the good part is, it's 100% federal funded. So I put in for them. We got approved. And now we've got our part of the agreement, and the only thing we have to do is sign it and turn it over, and we don't have anything else to do with it after that. It's handled by IDOT, it's 100% federal money. This one is for the Joppa Road right off of 45. There are signals there, and this is to add gates to it. So what I need is the board to approve it, and you to sign it, and John to attest it.
Do you have more than one location, so we'll do each one separate?
I've only got one location.
Okay.
They send these to the railroad first, and whenever the railroad gets around to signing them, they send them to me, we sign them, and I send them back to Springfield. I've gotten the ones back from the Burlington, Northern Santa Fe for the job road. I don't know when I'll get the ones from the IC from Big Bang. Two different railroads. And I think you've heard me say before, railroads don't seem to get in a hurry for anything. So,
Any questions or?
by the way, the estimated cost by the railroad will do all this work. $231,864.
Just put 2 gates on it.
And the signal's already there.
And the signals are there.
Now, is that one or two?
Will be a gate from each side,
Well, I mean, crossing.
one crossing.
Man, it's
I knew it would be over 100,000, but I didn't know it'd be over 200,000.
what makes it cost so high?
I know 35 years ago, the mining company paid for gates at a crossing they had, and it cost over 100,000 then. And I said, what in the world can it cost? But that's where it's at.
We need to make a motion to approve that resolution.
Yeah.
I do so-
Agreement.
Do so move.
What is it,
Here, you wanna look, I'm just dating it, so.
This, so it's an agreement, from, I guess what the state of Illinois. From the feds, railroad.
It's federal dollars, but the Department of Transportation handles all the paperwork, and the railroad does all the work.
Right, so I think we already.
We've had one of these before, crossing north of the Logan Hog Farms, down there on that gravel road. We got this one year, some years ago. I think the section number on it was 97. 5 or 6 years later, it was still an open file. It hadn't been closed out yet. There ain't no telling how long Joe will have, I know I won't fit in it, there's no telling how long Joe will have this file in before they finally close out. Say, yeah, everything's approved, you can close the file out, we can dead file it. It takes years. We had the gates there 2 or 3 years, and 3 or 4 years after that, we were still waiting for paperwork. So,
You got a, you got a John, Jeff made a motion.
Yeah, I'm working on it,
All right.
just catching it.
We all agree, say aye.
Aye. Larry, it's kind of strange that they would do the major crossing flags.
Railroad just there, no string to them.
I applied for that one up at the Hog Farms because all that was there was cross bucks. And I applied
No
for,
line or
there was no light or anything. And I applied for signals, and it was approved as a safety, these are put in, submitted from all over the state, and you kind of vying against everybody else. And the conditions were just right because of and I got that one, I think, because the alignment, you can sit here and you're looking up the track this way, it's a horrible angle.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think I applied for signals, and by the time they put it in, they says, no, we're doing gates. And I think there's gates up there, I'm not sure, I think it's gates. I think it's gates. And it's just a matter of years ago, they would put signals in, and it's been, within the last 10 years, the Illinois Commerce Commission basically said it will be a rarity and exception.
Just
We put anything but gates in. They come out within the last 10 years and said, anything we do from now on will be gates only. And it will be a rare exception that we allow anything but full gates on. And so any signal work that we have done, that's been done over the last few years, it's been gates. See, we got, I tried to get signals up there at Schneeman Road where we just built the bridge a couple years ago. And we closed the crossing, and I asked for signals up there. They says, it'll be gates. So we've got gates there on a very low volume road because that's all they were doing when that was put in. What it amounts to is if there's signals there, they will leave signals unless they see some reason to improve that. And if there's ever an improvement, then they'll upgrade and it'll go to gates, is the experience that I've seen.
Those things going to the county shed.
All right, I think. Yeah.
Any word on that?
backhoe. The last word I got, I did some checking last week and, well, McHugh Equipment is trying to do an estimate, and he called me. I think I was meant to call Monday and I forgot it, and I was gonna call Tuesday, and before I got called, he called me and says, we're having trouble getting prices from Case on parts. Says, they tell me they're working on it, says, I'm calling every day, so I haven't heard anything since last Tuesday.
In the meantime, you're short of backup.
I'm short back on. And we're getting by because I have that little excavator that I didn't have this time last year, and that's the only reason we're able to get by, so. I'll try to make a copy of this. Do you want a copy? I'm gonna keep a copy for me, okay.
If you keep a copy out there, I appreciate it. 'cause
Okay, we
I'll tell you
will.
what will happen in my office with a copy of that.
You will file it and then we'll.
Yeah, and then try to remember where I filed.
Okay, we got a file for it.
Joe, how's it going? Good?
So far, so good, yeah.
Learning a lot?
We went over quite a bit last week, and
Still quite a bit more.
still quite a bit to go over, yeah. Paving project is gonna start.
Yeah, our contractors called late last week, and he's wanting to start. In fact, they were wanting to start today, and they got rained out. So our paving project may start tomorrow with butt joints. They were gonna do the butt joints today and start paving tomorrow instead of next week, but.
You're talking out in the EEI direction.
Yeah, from EEI to Hillman. Yeah, and the other issue that I have is I've got a lot of accumulated vacation time, and I'm gonna have trouble getting it in.
Just get paid for it on that.
If you're willing, yeah, it would be nice, and then I could,
Sometimes that's paid
we'll see what we work out.
for. Your training might be more.
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking, because I didn't look. I did get a day off last week I took, and let Joe kind of get his thoughts organized for a day without me hammering him with more information. But, yeah, we'll see. I might run some through somewhere sometime.
Is the new truck been moved? Every time I go, are you driving it?
Yeah, I'm driving.
How, are you driving it home?
Yes, now.
I wasn't at
I was gonna
first.
say, if you are, you're at the office awful early. Every time I drive by there, awful early, awful late.
He was leaving work and I think going to softball games, having to chase a boy. And didn't have time to come and get it. It was like that one Monday night, what you started at 6:30 and didn't get over until after 9 o'clock.
Yeah, it was a late one. I was gonna get the truck that night, but I was too late.
No, you just say anything, what to do about that truck?
We figured, we all talked, figured we just sell it sometime. Auction, sell it on a sealed bid, advertise in the paper and sell it on a sealed bid. So, just hadn't, been too busy, hadn't got that for
I
you.
understand.
How's the truck been? I mean, is it everything, no issues with it?
Yeah, no
I
issues.
mean, I know it's new and no one really drove it, so we didn't know.
Yeah, no, I haven't had any issues with it.
Did we ever get that light kit put on that you wanted to? Okay.
Yeah.
So it is equipped now.
It's ready.
Yeah, and we're trying to get a distance measuring instrument, and I got a part. We was gonna use the old one, and I called the company, and yeah, we can send you this, I forget what they call it, that you can just plug right in, and we got it last night, UPS, and we tried to plug it up this morning, it wouldn't work, so now we gotta call them today and find out what's going on, because they say it plugs right up to the ECU, right underneath the steering column, and it wouldn't light up, so we don't know.
What do you use it for? What was it?
Just to measure, it's an electronic distance measuring instrument, and like for these paving jobs, I use it extensively to lay out the project, to do the initial survey work, and then to lay out the project and check things afterward. So, we were down there yesterday with the wheel, walking that 3 miles.
Oh,
You got your exercise in.
Yes, I did. And it was warm too. I'd have to stop every once in a while,
Get a little
about every
warmer.
500 feet.
Yeah.
I could sweat, but it came in, I thought, well, great, because I ordered it last week, knew we finally was gonna do this. And then it didn't work, so we're gonna have to get back in touch with them, see what we can figure out. Because they are very handy, you know, it goes out, it's, they advertise, can be as accurate as a foot in the line. And for most everything we do,
That'll work.
that's plenty good enough.
That's good.
So,
All right, thanks, guys. Y'all have a good day.
all right, thank you.
Y'all take that.
I have a check in the amount of $13,847 refund on your insurance.
Awesome.
Which part is that? Workman's comp?
Yep.
Oh, that will.
Your payroll was down, so we adjusted the rates down, and that's your refund. So,
The less we pay,
well,
Less we pay.
the less the payroll is, the less you pay. So, and then two, we've had, our experience mod is getting better, a lot better. We're having a lot less claims. I don't know what to contribute that, but I think it helps us all whenever a company doesn't pay out more than it takes in. If it pays out more than it takes in, it has to charge more money, so I think we've been lucky there, so. Just wanna let you guys know I appreciate it. And Diane's checked the numbers, and Bub's checked the numbers, and we think it's right. Now, you have 45 days to dispute, and Diane puts you a letter in there and tells you that. We don't see any sense in doing it, but I mean, you're welcome. Well, if you want to argue with them
Want more money.
about a refund, I guess you're entitled to it if you want to, but I haven't had anybody ever do that, so. Anyhow, you guys got any other questions for me?
No.
I appreciate the business, and we try to take good care of you. I think
Servicing well.
we are. I think we
Sure.
are.
just keep bringing checks.
Keep bringing checks. I wish I could bring you one every week, but unfortunately, it don't work that way, but, I don't know. All right, if you don't need anything from me, I'll get on back across the street. If you need me, you know where I'm at.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, Bill.
See ya.
Jim's got money going on.
So far. This year, commissioner was putting out.
Miss Tony's on.
Yeah. A little warm in here. You might get that to Patrick when we get back up there. They don't say it's to me. Tim, what we got going on here? Is it renovation of the restaurant, a little contract or something? Or-
Yes, sir. There's one blank that needs to be filled in, and that would be the date on which the work
Let's
is
get
begun.
done, get the thing, it'll be all right.
You can stick in there, on or before, begin work date.
Would you say you got to put the first work day in?
Yeah, the work will commence on or before blank 2013. I've got a completion date, I talked to Jared about it this way. So we get it finished on or before June 18th. We need to put a start date on the contract.
You said next news.
That'd be the 28th.
May 28th?
Yeah. 27th is Memorial Day.
That's right on.
And, let's go to this here in a second. If you decide to approve it, we need to get a resolution, notation for the minutes. Chairman can execute it, and give a copy of this to the contractor.
Is that an extra copy?
Yeah.
Let me just have one, John, so you have it.
Oh, she got right down here on it too.
I texted her, told her.
She is a woman.
Thank you, Nate.
So we have to get Mr. Robbins to sign off on it.
The only thing, and I'm not sure the more drains down there. They say they run over. But it was in the, that I did tell him he would be responsible for our time, go through it. But I don't know if that.
Where's that work here?
It's on the first page, about the guarantee.
First paragraph down, second paragraph.
Doing good working on it, including all drains.
So what are you saying needs to be?
What would you like to be changed there?
I'd say leave it alone.
Well, we can.
I mean, we could just use some common sense if something just isn't possible.
Yeah,
we can,
if a person, makes an
think of it.
effort, and I even told him to, well, that urinal thing, if he can get the snake thing in there.
I don't have any questions with it. I think it looks good.
Let me finish it. Okay. Yeah, that's fine.
So you want me to go ahead and sign it, and then we're gonna give,
After you take a vote,
yeah,
and then we'll get Mr. Robbins to sign it.
I move to approve.
I'll second.
all right, all say, agree, say aye. All right. Motion passed.
Mr. Farmer, let's use, well, that's fine.
You mean sign all, more than one, or what?
Yeah, I want to be able to give one to John and one to Mr. Robbins.
Gerald's kinda overseen it, he may want a copy too. Aren't you?
Yeah, probably, yeah.
Wouldn't hurt to.
Unless you want to.
No, you're doing a good job.
You are.
Yeah, I ain't gonna jump in the middle of this. I might screw up the work that you started.
There you go. Thank you, Tim, for
Yes,
doing
sir.
this.
Yes, thanks, Tim.
Patrick regrets not being here. He had to go prosecute somebody in Union County.
I'm sure they
Gerald, I'll leave that with you. You
They
get
would-
Mr. Robbins on it.
probably wish he was
Okay.
here too.
Gentlemen, see you.
Thank you very
All right,
much.
thank you.